Rising!
It's another Decepticon Ladies Night!
Yeah! We are taking over. I mean, we're just hanging out.
No, we're just hanging out
Just
here
hanging
at
out.
the table. It's no big deal.
But also at the same time, when Katie's away, the Decepticons will play.
This is why, Katie, you can't go out of
can't
town
leave.
anymore. You can't go on away missions. We will just wreak havoc in your studio.
All the time. But we're going to be a better team than our Decepticons on the show.
High five.
Yeah.
High five. Anyway, hey guys, welcome back to the Robots in Disguise After Show on AFTERBUZZ TV. As we mentioned at the top of the show, the Decepticons are ruling tonight. But that being said, we do miss our faithful leader, Katie Cullen. You guys can follow her at Kia J on all over the social media stuff and things. She is currently on an away mission right now, but joining me tonight is the lovely Alexis the Wrecker Torres.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. You guys can find me all over social media at atorres890, and I'm ready to rock this because also I had emotions.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Oh, so many roller coaster emotions.
Yeah, no, seriously, like, lock me in, I'm ready to go.
And I'm Lord Megantron, Megan Salinas. You guys can follow me on Twitter at the Menguin, that's TheMenguin. And I'm also ready to rock because I love this cover.
This cover gets me pumped.
I know. Anytime like I get to lead, I'm like, can I
Yes.
use this as an excuse to play the Black Lab cover of the
Always.
Transformers theme?
Always.
But the other thing, you guys, we are going to be keeping an eye on the hashtag ABTVRID, as well as an eye on the live chat. Now, guys, as a heads up, this is actually, I think, the first live stream from our AfterBuzz animation page.
Yeah.
So, welcome everybody to the new animation page. This is going to be great. All those announcements we were talking about earlier, this is where we're at now. So, this is where to go for Transformers after shows from now on.
Yes.
All right. So, yes, let us talk about this episode. Prepare to depart, or prepare for departure. My bad.
Same thing.
So, I feel like this episode was really front-loaded in terms of plot, because, I don't know, someone at this table called it.
I knew it. And we talked about it last week. I was like, what if Soundwave's a part of it? And you guys were like, what? And I was like, no. And then it happened.
I don't even remember the predictions that I make because I'm so busy throwing everything I can at the wall that I'm like, what did I predict?
That was the only thing I was like super like into, but then Katie shut me down so fast. I was like, okay, maybe it won't happen, but it did.
Well, to her credit, Soundwave has been so far removed from everything that's going on, and we haven't really been given a whole lot of insight into the Cybertronian scenario either. So, as far as we know, Soundwave is still kind of in that weird shadow zone.
Or you could be lying.
Oh, yeah. That's, you know what? They are called Decepticons. Why didn't we think of that?
I don't know why I didn't think of that until just now. Thank you.
I was just like, how about that? There's not like a bigger conspiracy going on. He's just like, oh yeah, I'm totes working with your benefactors.
Just totes my goats. Yeah, working with.
Sure, I'm a disembodied voice from inside a portal, and the last time you listened to one of those, like, it didn't turn out well for you, but you can totes trust me.
Yeah, pound it.
Well, portal pound it, because I am in an otherworldly shadow realm, unable to interact with anything physically. It's really sad. It's been a boring, I don't know, 30 years or so.
However long he's been gone. Oh my God.
Undetermined amount of time. But yeah, let's talk about this. No. I think that's amazing. I love the idea of it not being this big complicated plot, that it's just, oh yeah, sure, we'll go with that. Yes, I'm working with those guys.
Yeah, you know them, right?
Your benefactors. Yeah, that's what you called them.
Yeah, whatever. We'll just go with that.
So, yeah, this episode starts off with our Decepticon crew, who was sorely missed earlier this season because, and we'll get a little bit more into it, but I've missed their dynamic. But they show up, and they're at this rendezvous point where supposedly their benefactors are going to be giving them more instructions. And what do we see is a mini-con opening up one of those Soundwave portals, and Soundwave's voice booming out, going like, hey, yeah, you're working for me now.
and I squeed the hardest I could ever squee in my entire lifetime, and also at work because everyone was like, "What?"
Now, I'm 100% positive I already asked you this, but Soundwave is like one of your absolute favorites, right? Do you have a number one in terms of Decepticons? And no, it's really hard to pick.
Besides, oh my god, I almost said Winkblade. That was incorrect.
She turned evil in an alternate universe.
I would like that. More females.
Moonheart for the win.
Always. Oh my god, I am like forgetting names. I'm only thinking of our bots. Our Megatron's right hand man always.
Starscream.
Thank you. Oh my god, I am the worst. I'm sorry, I haven't slept. Yeah, Starscream. Just because I feel like
it's hilarious to watch him do his thing.
Yeah, like I feel like he does. There are times where he's like, "I'm loyal to you. Everything's gonna go my way. Everything's gonna go your way, not." Yeah, and then like as soon as something goes wrong, I have to think of myself only.
I just the arc we got for this, canonical version of Starscream was just so great because I don't think he ever really knew what he wanted. Like, some days he'd be like, I want to rule the Decepticons. Other days he'd be like, no, I want Megatron to respect me. And, like, he would go back and forth. So this is really just the story of a man who does not know what he wants.
He's a college student. It's okay. he's getting there.
Undeclared, and he needs to figure out a path.
He will find his path. Maybe. I'll be a super senior. Who knows?
Although, kind of bringing up that point, if what Soundwave is saying is true, which BTW, the reason I brought that up is because I love the Soundwave t-shirt that you have. I want it. Never mind. It is adorable.
Yes.
Sorry, neither here nor there. But if Soundwave is telling the truth, then that kind of probably doesn't mean anything good for Starscream.
No, but I also feel like Starscream is always getting the hairy end of the lollipop. You know what I mean? So I always want to root for him, but in the end, I'm always thinking, I don't think you're gonna.
You enjoy watching him for the same reason Megatron kept him around for so long.
Yeah.
It's like your endless string of failures has been amusing.
Yeah, no, literally just entertainment.
It's just been fun to see what you do.
Every time I'm just like, oh, Starscream's here? Okay.
But Soundwave, again, like Starscream, it's hilarious no matter what he's doing. Soundwave, on the other hand, is, especially this version of Starscream,
crawl.
It is bone chilling. And the silence for so long was really creepy and really eerie. But now that we have the old voice back, like it also kind of on the one hand, it's nostalgic and it's hard not to go.
Yeah, I squee and giggle at the same time, but as that's happening, I'm also shaking with fear because you don't mess with just Soundwave in general. Just like, it makes me so happy that he's on our screens again, but at the same time, it makes my stomach hurt because I feel like something bad is really gonna happen, and I'm not ready.
Whenever this show was at its most lighthearted, we would always talk about Soundwave level consequences, and that was what our default statement was for like when things get really dark and edgy. And lo and behold, what this final season is bringing us to is Soundwave level consequences.
And it's kind of working because we always talked about like, oh, that would be really funny if they took this dark turn here and this dark turn there, and then we've got Steeljaw pulling out lines, and I'm like, for kids, right?
We've had several episodes in a row, and granted, this one was way more lighthearted than the last two, and the last one was way more lighthearted than the one before that.
It's like,
but
slowly.
We did have a real abrupt turn,
and it was in the beginning of the episode.
Just straight up. It was in the beginning of the episode, and even though like things are sort of, in terms of tone, they've gone back to normal.
Yeah.
They have kept Steeljaw in that very dark and unpleasant place, and I'm all about it. Keep it up,
Keep it
guys.
coming. Keep it coming. Please go. Please go.
Please give me the dark and edgy.
Yeah. No, like, I mean, I've always loved Troy Baker in anything, but I don't know what it is seeing this wolf with the really glowy eyes and just like, okay, yeah, but then hearing just like, I want to see how you tick. I was like, oh, wow, okay, we have a serial killer status. Okay.
We were joking about it before the show. Like, that was just a few lines away from like a straight up horror movie line. One line in particular, and I won't repeat it on this show because children listen.
Yeah, no, seriously, like I was sitting there going, how did that it pass? How did that pass for a children's show? Just saying that. I mean, like, again, it was just a line. It's not like he continued it throughout the episode.
Well,
But
no, I mean, he went for it.
I mean, he did. I mean, like, I also love the fact that that Bumblebee had a giant hole in his chest, and then it just magically disappeared halfway through the episode. Magic.
They don't have a medic, do they?
No. Ratchet.
Maybe it was just a surface level scratch.
That's what I'm hoping, but I also love that the emblem came back, even though it was, like, ripped off. But, you know, Bumblebee's just indestructible in that way, I guess.
I mean, he's had worse. Let's not go there.
Why?
Let's not go there.
That's Katie's job. Megan.
Whose seat am I in right now,
True.
Alexis?
Fine. I'll give you that.
All right. But yeah, talking about Steeljaw, I also adore Troy Baker and just about anything he's in. And I was so excited when this show was initially announced and we were introduced to Steeljaw as the character, as this smooth talking, just very slimy, underhanded guy, but who was also very charming and charismatic. Here, he's still very charming, but a lot of that suave is gone. It is just right out the window, and you kind of get the feeling that at any moment he could just straight up snap.
Yeah,
and like you see it just in not just when he's dealing with Bumblebee, but especially when he's dealing with Bumblebee, but just in the little tiny interpersonal interactions within his own team as well. And it's never been great, but he's always been able to like keep a handle on things.
True. I feel like this is the first time we've seen him not really have a firm grasp on his team, even though technically the team has never really been.
The team has never meshed well.
Never meshed well, but he was able to strike fear into the hearts of his group, I mean, besides Thunderhoof.
By just talking intimidatingly.
And
now he's straight up physically accosting people in order to get them to stay in line.
Again, we've been talking about it, especially for the past few episodes, of how he's slowly kind of losing it. And you can clearly see it in this episode because of the fact that Thunderhoof, I mean, we already knew that Thunderhoof and him don't see eye to eye, neither does anybody else, but at least like usually the group is like with him, but this time not so much.
Yeah, at least the group for the most part is willing to like go along with everything. But this again, it puts them in a very precarious situation because the pardons they have been promised, we find out that it's not just like, oh, you're pardoned, go and do us this favor. It's straight up like, you do not get pardoned unless you do this for us.
Yes.
And also, yeah, we've actually been secretly working for the shadowy figure who's hanging out
behind the curtain.
Behind the curtain. And as we know, Steeljaw's probably not about that. He wants to be the one behind the curtain, not the one pulling the strings, not the one being told what to do.
Yeah.
So this is an extremely fun sort of dramatic situation to put them in.
Yeah, and I really appreciate it because the fact that we're usually seeing just cons and bots, and usually because Steeljaw is usually the one making the plans, and it seems like it was not one-sided, but like it was very predictable. Now that we have Soundwave potentially pulling strings on both sides, not both sides, but you know what I mean, with two teams, that it seems like okay, this is you're playing the big game now. Like, it's a big boy game. You need to get with it. But, of course, in very Steeljaw fashion, he's like, okay, we're doing this, but I also have more plans underneath that as well.
What's really, in terms of dramatic irony, what's really interesting, too, is that, you know, you have Soundwave playing the big boy game.
Yeah.
B doesn't even know they're playing a game.
Which is crazy to me, but at the same time, I understand, because how would he know?
Yeah, no. All they know is that at one point some mini-cons popped up, and now all their Decepticon hunters are gone. And now Steeljaw and company are back. So obviously something's going on, but that's, again, the direction is on Cybertron in terms of, like, how did they get back here from Cybertron? That's a weird thing. I don't think Soundwave is even a thought in terms of, like, what they could possibly deduce is going on.
That's why I can't wait to see when he finally either finds out or meets the portal of Soundwave, because I don't know what his plan will be or how he will be able to handle it and rake in his team to realize this is a big deal. You can't play around like you usually do. Strong arm, sideswipe, like, you guys can't fight right now. This is huge.
Correct me if I'm wrong. The last time Soundwave was actually physically present, Bumblebee was away, and
I
that
thought
was
so, right?
that was the big consequence of like that episode, was that Bumblebee, who was the only person there who really could possibly
Bring it into perspective.
yeah,
Yeah.
who could really possibly know the sort of consequences that they were dealing with. And the way that they won is by, like, you know, is the red versus blue method of, like, you outsmart the best swordsman in the world by being the worst swordsman in the world. And that's exactly how they beat him without being.
But that's what I'm saying. So I'm hoping that, I mean, again, I don't want to get too far into prediction territory, but like, I want, I don't know. Again, I have mixed feelings. 'Cause I'm like, Soundwave is just this force. Like, you can't, but at the same time, there has to be a resolve.
I'm sitting here going, yes, give it to me, I can't wait. And yet at the same time going, oh, it's going to hurt my heart. It's going to hurt me. It's going to hurt me so bad.
It's just going to suck.
Talking about wanting things.
Oh, no. Great segue, Megan.
No, wait, where do you think I'm going?
I thought you were talking about our hermit.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's exactly where I was going.
Yeah.
So you know how Katie has been saying, like, oh, I this is what I get for wanting things, because other shows that we do panels for, we all have various wants for, and several of those shows have hurt me very badly in the past. Robots in Disguise, oddly enough, was very kind to me.
Oh, thank God.
Personally this year. It's like, here, have a detective story.
I know.
Here, have Blur. You like Blur. Here you go. And don't worry, we'll take him away before he dies. But whenever
God.
Katie wants something,
Oh,
on
yeah,
this
take
show
it
for
away from
whatever,
her.
Oh, man. It's either she doesn't get it at all or she gets it, but it's a monkey's paw scenario.
Yep. And you're just like, oh, Katie.
It is. But I have to say, something that brought a huge smile to my face was seeing the Hermit in this episode
I
again.
can't believe that he came back. I mean, I'm really happy because I was like, hey, we talked about this when he first showed up. We're like, he'd be a cool person to come back and possibly help out. I don't know. He definitely didn't help on this one, but I'm also proud of our team for lying in the best way.
Yeah, although I correct me if I'm wrong, at one point Fix-It was wearing 3 hats.
Yeah, I'm very confused. Yeah, because they were in the car, right?
Yeah.
So one
One hat,
Denny.
Fix-It. One.
Yeah, also, what was it? Denny was wearing a wizard hat and a beard? How was that? Crown City.
Only in Crown City. Maybe there was a convention going on.
Lies. Lies and deceit.
Lies and slander.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was funny seeing this hermit because we've seen him previously this season. And we're sitting here going, like, if there's anybody who's going to pop a lid on the robot conspiracy, it's going to be this guy.
It's gonna be this guy.
Well, turns out he's not alone. And I will have to give it credit to the team. This is one of the most convincing lies they've ever told.
Yeah.
Most of their lives are pretty far-fetched. It's like, again, only in Crown City.
But I also have a question. So when that scene came up and he was wandering, when Fix-It was coming out, which I don't remember what he was doing. I don't know if he was humming or talking or something, because the hermit came in and he was clearly taking pictures and trying to figure out the cave. And then Fix-It comes out, either says or sings something, and then
I think he said, oh, scrap.
yeah, and then ran back inside. He follows Fix-It, and then Russell and Denny come out and they go, oh, I guess it's time to, maybe we should stop putting the groceries away. And I was like, but you're behind a rock. Were you putting groceries in the rock?
I'm still wondering where they're putting everything.
I'm so confused.
I just want to make sure that they're not sleeping on the cold, hard dirt, and that
just want
they've
them to
got
have, like,
mattresses
like
and
an air mattress or
yes.
something.
I just want to make sure that they're okay. It sounds like they have some makeshift places to put groceries away in, so hopefully.
I just thought it was weird because I thought they were hiding. So I was like, okay, they're hiding, but then they pulled the line out of like, I guess we can't do groceries right now, and I was like, were you putting away were you about to go leave to go get groceries?
Maybe there was a refrigerator behind the rock.
That would have been nice, animators. I was just thinking that they're just putting random fruit back there and just like, oh, that'll be fine.
Well, I guess for everything that in terms of like if they want it to even resemble the structure of a kitchen, they have to build those shelves. So maybe they're just
building shelves?
Yeah, maybe they're
Okay.
building shelves.
I will take that. I just felt like I was going insane because I was like, I know that we're supposed to be talking about like a big plot right now, but the groceries is what I'm worried about.
Wait. We've got Soundwave, a Cybertronian council conspiracy, Optimus and Drift, and those guys MIA because of that investigation. And infighting within the Decepticons that we have on Earth.
Yes.
And you want to talk about the groceries?
I'm confused. It is the greatest mystery of my life. Cartoon Network, help me out here. Send me a picture, a drawing.
They're building shelves.
That's it. That's just like they're building shelves.
They're building shelves.
Fine, I'll take it.
Mystery solved.
I mean, I'm not as bad as Grimlock, though.
Can I just say that, like, I have to say part of me really empathizes with Grimlock.
Yes.
And his struggle in this episode, because there have definitely been times where I'm at work and I've checked the same systems and software 15 times in a row, and I've checked my inbox and I've checked the other various inboxes that I imagine, like, 15 times, and then I go, you know what? Now's an okay time for me to get up and have some coffee.
It happened to me today.
Have some coffee. And then I sit back down, and a million emails have come in, and I'm like, I was gone for 60 seconds. What happened?
Literally today, I got up, nothing was happening. I even checked with my superior and went, hey, there's nothing happening. Can I go to lunch early? Sure, go for it. I come back. Where were you? What are you talking about?
I told you I was going to lunch.
Well, no, my supervisor went to lunch. It was everybody else that was looking for me, and I was like,
and they're like, where were you?
I was like, it's been 4 hours. I don't understand. I have been sitting here waiting for you to ask me for things, and now I am gone, and I come back, and now I have all the things.
Where were you?
No, like, seriously, it was like a Where's Rachel moment in Batman. And I was like,
Rachel.
Yeah, I was like, I was in the break room, and you could have asked for my help. But
yeah, they're like, you're dead to us.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, I guess I'll go hang out.
You failed the team.
You failed this city. The city of just digitizing. That's weird. But yes, I felt bad because I mean, I don't know how far into the tunnel he got because everyone showed up like 2 seconds after he left into the tunnel.
Yeah.
That blaring was pretty loud.
Yeah, he left literally about 5 seconds before the monitor started blipping.
I feel like you can hear that from there.
Maybe 2 minutes, before everybody else came in.
But I feel like you could have heard that. He took 3 steps and all of a sudden, beep, beep, beep. I was like, all you have to do is turn around.
He's very excited. And to be fair, he has a longer gait.
That's true, because he's very tall.
He's very tall. He's a very tall robot.
All right, I'll give him that. Maybe he's like halfway through the tunnel.
That being said, I will say that I like the message behind Grimlock's B-plot in this episode.
Yeah.
I like the message that, like, especially because I personally, my day job is like hey, we're here, we can have fun, get your job done, but, like, we all love and care about each other and support one another. It's a positive work environment, which those are hard to come by as adults. So I love the message of this episode of, like, it's okay to have fun as long as you get your work done and you can enjoy what you do as long as you're not goofing around too much in terms of, again, as long as the work gets done. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
I like that message. I don't know if, like, Endgame is really the appropriate time to have that kind of message, though.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it was strange, especially because, like, it's always hard with Grimlock. I mean, I feel like everybody on the team should know that Grimlock takes things very literally. So if you tell him, like, no, work is for work and fun is for fun, he has the most fun.
That's the way he's going to internalize it, because the thing that brings him joy is wrecking things.
Yeah, he likes to punch stuff. Like, that's his favorite thing to do. If you tell him that's not what, you can't have fun while you're working, he's not going to do what you need him to do. Yeah. Super simple.
And again, the demographic for this show is for children.
Yes.
So, but for me personally, I'm like, we are getting into endgame stuff here. It's not a bad moral of the week, but I don't necessarily think the show needs a moral of the week anymore. If we're talking about, like, all this, like, ongoing plot stuff and we're ramping up towards the series climax.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I'm like, yeah, a lesson's fine, but, like, I don't really need it right now.
Just, like, tiny sprinkle it, but also give it, just put more story in there, and then just have like a more tiny sprinkle in there of Grimlock learning to do that, because I felt like it did take up a lot of it, especially with Sideswipe kept repeating, like, come on, Grimm, do this. And he's like, no, it's not this, it's work time. And then again and again. And I was like, okay.
It feels like a season 1 story element somehow got put into a season 4 plot
Maybe
line.
they forgot about it and they're like, oh, just throw it in here real quick. Nothing wrong with it. I liked the moral.
It's not a bad moral at all. It's just one of those things
It threw
where,
me off.
given all of the bigger picture stuff that's going on, it's like,
Are we really going to have time for that?
we're going to focus on the moral of the week.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Cool. Again, it's adorable, and to be fair, and in all fairness, with Grimlock, you do have to hammer in those messages.
Yeah, the Cyberwolf fan gal in the chat says, I understand Grimm's short attention span, but this wasn't a problem before, and it normally wouldn't bother me, but this seemed really unnecessary for him, kind of like in the game.
Oh. Like the movie The Game?
I don't know. I don't know. Also, because there is a Robots in Disguise game, isn't there?
Oh, I haven't gotten to play it yet.
I don't know. I could be wrong. If you could tell us, please, Cyber,
But
put it in the chat.
I can definitely understand it. Yeah, feeling like it was a little bit forced.
Yeah,
I get that, because
maybe it's because they haven't had a moral of the story for like a couple episodes. Maybe they're like, we should probably throw one of those in there before we get really deep into plot.
And again, it's also entirely possible that one of the writers for the show really was just like, I think I'll go get that cup of tea now, and then came back in to the writer's room
like,
and
what
was just
happened?
bombarded, and they were just like, I just stepped away for a second, and then just put
Can
that
you
into a
imagine if
story.
like all the writers were like, you leave your desk every time there's something going on. We're putting it in the show so you learn your lesson. And it's like, okay. All right, guys, all you had to do was tell me. You didn't have to put it in the context.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Just be real open with me, okay? We just want to make sure you got the message. Do you see this?
You know, we have annual reviews. You could have just mentioned it. We have weekly meetings.
Late. Sorry. Yes. Sorry. But yeah, I just think it'd be really funny if they're just like, hey, Greg.
Like everybody's at the table read.
But they're all just like looking at him, and he's like not getting it. He's like, oh, I like this. This is nice.
It's like, oh, that's adorable. Oh,
like,
silly Grimlock.
Silly Grimlock. Like, Greg.
Like,
Greg, look at you. Think about your life choices.
Anything about this plot speaking to you, Greg?
Yeah, anything hitting you in the feels,
resonating?
getting in that noggin?
Nope. I think Grimlock's just adorable. I love when we focus on Grim.
Damn it, Greg.
This is what
happens. This is why we can't have nice things. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to pick up. I hope there isn't a Greg. Because we're not trying to make fun of him.
No. We love the cast and crew of this show. They've been incredibly
so
supportive
great.
and wonderful. So yes, apologies to any Gregs on the staff. Or watch, Greg's just a PA.
He's like, well, guys, I tried.
It's my first day.
Greg, put your earpiece in, okay? We need you. Pay attention.
But yeah, it's one of those things where I totally empathize with it, and like it's one of those things where that moment in particular speaks to me on a spiritual level. But
Right.
I feel like it wasn't necessarily something that was needed for a B plot.
I agree.
At this stage in the game.
I agree with you. I feel like they could have done it in the earlier episode, just like in the beginning of this season, sure, and then eventually do something else. But again, I thought the episode was fun, and I didn't mind it, especially because you know me, I always love seeing anything that has to do with Grimlock.
Well, and again, I'm wondering if they're not just like going with like, hey, we're gonna have a little bit more lighthearted stuff now. Like we're gonna go to the moon, and we're doing this fun stuff now, this more lighthearted stuff now, because we're gonna have another abrupt shift in tone when we get to the final few episodes.
That would make sense. I can see that. Just to like, hey, just gonna give you some sugar coating now.
Yeah,
and then,
it's the equivalent of
suck later.
getting Ruby Chibi right before season 4. It's like, here, we broke all your hearts. Here, have some sugar.
look, it's so nice. Look how pretty and nice it is.
Look how pretty and nice it is, and no one's dead. It's fine. Nothing happened.
Everything's
it's fine.
okay. Everything's fine. It's just on fire. Everything's fine. I love that gift. Or that cartoon.
I love that little comic too.
Yeah,
it's so
it's
great.
nice.
But one thing I'm wondering about like potential thing in terms of like, again, being a little bit more lighthearted here in terms of Grimm's plotline is that like we had when we were wrapping up stuff with Motormaster, we had B's abrupt shift in tone
Right.
of like, I'm going to get super serious and
Right.
come down all authoritarian on you guys right now. To me, in my mind, that would make more sense a little bit further on down the line with Steeljaw getting increasingly crazy or straight up finding out that Soundwave is back. To me, Soundwave being back makes a lot more sense of B being like, oh shoot, I need to bring the hammer down on my team.
Correct.
Because this guy is going to kill everybody.
Yep. Straight up murder.
So I'm wondering if they didn't play their card a little too early by having authoritarian B, you know, with the climax for Motormaster as opposed to like waiting for the reveal for Soundwave.
I mean, I agree with you on that.
They might build on it, though.
Yeah, because we still have a good amount of episodes left. I mean, not a huge amount, but we have like a solid, you know, amount of it. But at the same time, I feel like it would be very interesting to see, as much as I don't want to, maybe be scrambled to get his team to like really understand that like this is serious.
Maybe he starts to come down on them really hard, and then we have a little bit of character building where it's like, no, we already learned that this doesn't work.
Right.
Like, so it's just like a really brief thing.
Yeah.
We need to try something else.
Yeah, because maybe an episode of just him being a little too harsh, and then everyone's just like, what's going on? Why are you like...
It would feel really repetitive because we already had it earlier this season.
So maybe he'll learn from it and also learn to be authoritative, but also balance it out to the point where he can make his team good by also being authoritative, but not,
I feel like, again, I think it helps that they've met Soundwave. So
True.
Again, it's one of those things just to hammer in like the level of danger and consequences that they're dealing with.
Or maybe it'll just be the fact of like since they already met Soundwave, they understand that maybe it's like, oh, okay, now we actually have to just get it into gear, and then they just probably won't. They'll stop the horseplay.
They could also be like, oh, well, we beat him before.
So it could
that'll
be
lull
worse.
them into a false sense of security of like, we beat him once, we'll beat him again.
But then that would also play into B becoming too harsh with his team because they're too lax.
Yeah.
Because of it. So that
because
would be
they're
an
like, we
interesting
beat
episode.
you and you weren't even here.
Yeah, so that could be it. And then him just being, you know, unsure about his team. Maybe Optimus comes back and is like, I think you need to just like really, you know, hammer out the details with them and find out how they beat him.
Yeah, because we already know Optimus has like control issues when he and B are leading the team at the same time.
Exactly. So
Optimus has trouble letting go.
yeah, all the time, buddy. Just gotta learn to just, you know, loosen that grip.
You can let go of the bike, Dad. It's okay.
It's okay. I got it. I promise. But yeah, I think it'll be great for stress for the show for like an episode, but I don't think it should continue. I think they should get it together.
Like I said, I would like them to build upon it because an entire episode of just repeating that same thing, I don't think is very constructive.
No,
and I think
they know better than that.
They do. No, the show is
so phenomenal.
The show is better than that.
Yeah.
So I have faith, but I'm just saying that, like, again, me throw my spaghetti at the wall.
I'm very intrigued to see how our team is going to do.
We got a little off track talking about the Hermit. One thing we didn't mention was that when the lie works, the Hermit, you know, about them digging for dinosaur fossils.
Wow, we went way off track. Sorry.
Which, by the way, life finds a way. Yeah. I was hoping for a little bit more Jurassic Park references, but that's okay. Neither here nor there. The Hermit is like, nobody in the conspiracy club can find out about this. Conspiracy club?
So, yeah, oh, nice. I love that. That's great.
I just kind of sat there and I looked at Katie. I was like, conspiracy club, you say. Would one call that a fan club?
Question mark. I can just see Katie's face. She was just like, oh.
It was funny because, like, she hears conspiracy club and, like, there's no reaction. And then I say, like, a fan club? And she's like, no, they didn't.
Oh, yeah, they did.
Could it be?
And Katie finally got a win. She got it.
And that's what we get for wanting things.
I immediately thought of Katie when that line came out. I was like, I'm
going to call that a win because one thing she's constantly said throughout this entire recap show's history is just give me the fan club.
And we found out.
And lo and behold, there's a club.
We got one. And I mean, they're taking pictures, or at least he's taking pictures. Whatever video they have, they're clearly on to something.
Now, again, if we want to go dark.
Oh, here we go.
he doesn't exactly seem to be the most stably sound, mentally individual. So maybe there is no club.
Oh, no, don't take that away from Katie!
I don't want to take it away from Katie. I'm just pointing out that
That would be really, wow.
Just
He's his
seems
own
to
club.
Not have all the screws, fully tightened. They might be a few screws loose.
Oh, no, I kind of want it now. I'm sorry,
So maybe
Katie.
there's not a club. Maybe he just thinks there's a club.
Oh, my God.
I'm a bad person.
No, but I want it, though.
I'm a bad person.
Oh my God, I want it. Or let's add on that.
You want to make it worse?
Hold on. Trying to make it light. No, I'm trying to make it lighthearted. Here we go. So, well, I don't know if it's lighthearted, but okay. Let's say it's not the fact that he's not in a club. There is a club, but they never believe him.
Okay.
So it's still lighthearted. He's like the outcast.
He's like the outlier, and he's the one constantly trying to bring like the club proof of the legitimately supernatural things that he's seen.
And they're like, no, that can't be real. Whatever, we're fine. We're actually doing real work here. I need you to go and
Come on,
play
Frank.
with your rock. Yeah,
come on, Frank.
Go
Get it
play with
together.
your rocks. Okay, we whatever. We got bigger things to worry about, and they're like thinking
like figuring out why that satellite exploded over Crown City.
Exactly. So they're mostly focused on that and not really looking where he's
But
at.
I will give it to Katie. I don't think this guy is delusional.
No, I think he has a club.
I
There's
think
a
there
club
is a
there.
conspiracy club. Because again, with all of the stuff that is going on in Crown City, there kind of has to be a conspiracy club. So, yes, chalk
know.
one up as a win for Katie. The fan club hashtag is canonical. Yay!
Yay! Even though deep down, no, I don't know. So many theories in the back of my mind that I will not say present because it's too dark for children.
Like I said, I'm a bad person.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm with you though. Great minds.
I guess the only other thing to talk about is like the plot in general for this episode was basically dumping nuclear waste into the middle of a heavily populated urban area.
Again, talk for children.
For reasons. Soundwave never really gave us a reason. And Steeljaw was just for reasons.
I think it's all a distraction. Clearly Soundwave is doing other things that we don't know about, and he's like, oh yeah, let's give the children something to do.
You know what will keep the Autobots on Earth preoccupied? Putting human lives in danger.
All the time.
And you could just tell Steeljaw is just like super happy about that. Like, he's not happy to be taking orders, but he's like, yeah, if we're gonna kill people, that sounds
cool
great.
It's just like, oh, mommy and daddy have something busy to do. Hey, honey, look, cartoons, watch. Look how busy it is. Look.
I also just love how irredeemable Steeljaw has been up to this point, because like I've always had a little bit of sympathy for him, because it's like he just wants a place for them to belong.
It's for his cons, man.
And like in his mind, to a certain extent, through the early seasons, you could justify some of what he does, not all, but some of what he does.
Yeah.
But here there is nothing redeemable about what he's trying to do.
No.
And Bumblebee tries to appeal to that. He's like, dude, people like. So many people will die.
And he's like, I don't care. And I'm like, what happened?
He's like, does that look like that would be a plea that would work on me?
And I was like, who are you?
At what point has human safety, when has that ever been a priority for me?
Oh, it's so weird.
Spoiler alert, never.
But yeah, it was crazy. But at the same time, I'm like, this is the Steeljaw I wanted to see, not him actually murdering people, but the fact of that he just doesn't care.
Yeah,
he's in it to win it for himself, but not really at the same time.
Well, he's in it to win it so that he can gain his freedom, and then I don't know what he has planned after that.
Again, I'm just throwing question marks up in the air.
I don't even know if he has a plan, because I think revenge on B right now kind of is the plan.
Yeah.
You know, a pardon will be good for later on down the line. Freedom on Cybertron will be good for down the line.
I mostly just want to kill Bumblebee and see how he takes.
Well, that and like Bumblebee is the main opposing force on Earth.
Yes.
You can turn Earth into a Decepticon planet once the Autobots are gone.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to be hard.
No, not at all. So...
Yeah.
I don't know. It's scary, but at the same time, I'm like, I want to see what happens.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying seeing this multifaceted side of Steeljaw. The only other thing I want to bring up was that at one point, Strong Arm like shoots something out of Steeljaw's hands, and they just have this look, and I was just
beautiful.
like, I freaking love that out of all of the bots to always being able to like pull one over on Steeljaw. It's Strong Arm.
And the fact that, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, no, go for
I
it.
loved the fact that the fight scene between her and Quillfire was phenomenal. She was kicking and doing all these things, and he was like on the ground most of the time, except for obviously when he got away. But still, I love that she's able to just, it's not like a typical, like, oh, the female is having a hard time keeping up. Like, she's kicking butt and taking names, clearly, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that on the list of priorities for Steeljaw, it goes Bumblebee first and Strong Arm is second.
For sure.
Because he, like, I love that, like, they established early on, he was able to trick her at the very beginning of this series, and she has not allowed that to ever happen again, and so she has beaten him time and time again.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love that, like, out of all of them, she's the one that can just, like, you know, kick him until he's down.
It's fantastic. It makes me super happy. And the fact that it's just, I feel like that's just going to stem further. So if Bumblebee gets hurt, Strong Arms, I mean, obviously she'll always be there. Yeah, she'll always be there, especially if the lieutenant is down. But I love the fact that she would immediately go for Steeljaw and wouldn't even blink an eyelash.
You know, for a show for kids, also subtlety. Like, it's not a big thing, but it's just this great little character beat.
Yeah, just adding another little.
And talking about like how great the animation was, like serious faces in the transformation sequences too.
I really enjoyed that.
They were so good.
It was really awesome. I love just the added effects and everything. It was just really cool. I was like, all right.
Other highlight, Robot Mitchell imitating a robot.
Yeah, whatever that.
Beep, bop, boop.
I was like, good job, Mitchell.
Any other highlights? We're running short on time.
Oh yeah, no, like I said, I'm very intrigued to see how Soundwave is going to distract our cons again for this one, or if they are going to start slowly revealing what he actually is doing. Because I feel like this. I mean, again, this is just me speculating. That I feel like this whole like yes. They told I'm working with them and we're giving you tasks, like kind of thing. Just like don't look at the curtain, don't look at the man behind the curtain.
I'd love to see Soundwave dance.
Don't look at this. Don't look at it. Don't do it. It's not. There's nothing happening. I'm just doing some cleaning. There's like mini cons back there. But yeah, I would like to see exactly what the plan is now that we're in that last few episodes. Like I feel like we've been kind of dancing and toying with us, and I'm like, just give me a good nugget. That's all I want. You already gave me this one, which made me super happy, but now I just need one more, just a little, just chisel off the top. For me, please. Pretty please. Sugar on top.
For me, I feel like we're going to see, like it's not going to take much longer for Steeljaw's team to completely fall apart. Like I was actually kind of feeling a little bit bad for Quillfire in this episode. Everyone's just like really dumping on him. And
he dragged that thing all by himself.
It was funny because he was able to keep peace between Thunderhoof and Steeljaw, and then he got punished for it.
That's actually just what I assume from Quillfire or anybody who's not Thunderhoof or Steeljaw.
So I'm really like my focus is on in terms of this team. My focus is on Thunderhoof. I'm like sooner or later.
I think he's waiting for it, man.
I think he's gonna. Anyway, I think that's gonna do it for our show. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to everybody in the live chat and the hashtag. You guys are phenomenal. If you haven't already done so, please go to iTunes to rate, subscribe, leave a comment. We love hearing from you. And be sure to leave lots of comments below. Again, this is our new YouTube page. So this is great. So be sure to leave comments to let the producers know that you guys like the new location for our after show. Alexis, where can people go if they want to keep up with you?
You guys can find me all over social media at atorres890. If you love the show that aired last year, Lethal Weapon, we are doing an after show in 2 hours, 9 p.m. We are doing the season 2 premiere. You should go check it out. And then I know Voltron's coming back this coming month. So
it's gonna be great.
Super excited. Obviously, you'll see our panel back again. It's gonna be super sweet. But other than that, that's pretty much it. I know a lot of people have been commenting on the wedding vlogs I've been putting up on my YouTube channel, so go check it out at youtube.com/ps890.
And again, you can follow Katie at Kiaxet. That's Kiaxet.
Yes.
Yep, that's how you spell it.
Yep.
And you guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at TheMenguin. That's TheMenguin. I am also on a bunch of shows here at AfterBuzz, and I write articles for The Movie Chick. That's Chick with 2 Ks. Be sure to check those out. Be sure to also check out the Shadow Radio Recreation Season 2 just started, where I do the voice of Margot Lane. So go and check out all that fun stuff. It'll be great. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you all next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Rev up and roll out.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.